Of YouTube. It's nice to see you. I've already went live on TikTok. That video will be uploaded in a few hours after this live ends. Me and Delilah Bullhorn are having a wonderful Sunday morning so far. You guys are blessed with bedhead Betty. Teeth are brushed. The hair's not. Okay, I brushed my hair. I'll be honest, I brushed the hair. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. We have been going back to the drawing board on the case of Sebastian Rogers. He's a missing autistic boy from Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been heard or seen from in a very long time, almost 7 months. Good morning, Sheena. It's nice to see you, my love. I hope you are doing well this beautiful Sunday. I don't have always the biggest lives on Sunday. Everybody's, they had a busy, eventful Saturday. People had real life stuff to deal with yesterday and to do and to have fun with their kids. And we always want people doing those things. Stephanie, Nicole, Chica, and CT, it's nice to see you. Kay Hind, hopefully I've got that right. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Emma, Sheila, MJ's up in the house. Michelle, it's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're doing well today. Oma, Stacy, Lex Spark, it's nice to see you all here this morning. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Don't forget to like this show as you're coming into the show. If you would like, we have kind of gotten away from this for a little bit, but let us know. This is how we get our weather for the day. We have so many people all over the country and all over the world. So why don't you go out there, thumb this live up. Let me know what number you are on the thumbs up. Come back in here. Tell us where you're from and what the temperature of your area is. It was actually nice this morning at 6 o'clock when I took the puppy out to use the potty. And she was being defiant and did not want to use the potty. And I'm like, we're not going back in. I know you've got a bladder. I know you got a bladder. So we did a couple laps around the front yard early this morning. And finally, Delilah got to pee-pee. She got to pee-pee. So she's a happy camper. She's been playing around. She's finally settled down this morning, as you guys can imagine. But we're going to get started. It's nice to see you. Sonia, it's nice to see you, my love. 82 in Mississippi. That's nice. Good morning. 70 degrees in Conway, cloudy. It's nice to see you, Dawn. I hope you're doing good today. I can tell you that hopefully it's not going to rain, but I'm pretty sure it's going to rain because yesterday it seemed like every time I went to go take Delilah out, because I couldn't hear it sprinkling. It doesn't, if it's not real big raindrops, I don't hear it. So I go out and then it's like tink, 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 tink. And I'm like, we got to go in. We got to go in. So I'm running for the door because it's about to pour down rain. Like I literally just walked out there to play with her. And right as soon as we walked out, it started. You could feel it picking up because when we started out there, it was like tink, 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 and then it started speeding up tink, 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 and I'm like, of course, when I run, she runs, right? She follows me everywhere I go. If she's not with me, she's whining for me. I love this little baby. She loves me. Her and I have a very special connection. I can tell you that. A very special connection. My mom gets a little jelly when she has her for a week, and then I come home. She's like, yeah, I'm chopped liver now that you're here. 15 South Africa. Oh, 20 degrees Celsius. What is 20 degrees Celsius? Is it cold there? That seems cold. Let's find out. 20 degrees Celsius. $20 degrees Celsius is what Fahrenheit? Go. 68 degrees. It's nice. That's nice. I'd be cold. I'd be honest with you. Because I leave this house at 78 degrees. And if it drops too much, I start freezing. Mitzi, it's nice to see you. Stacy, Elizabeth, it's nice to see you. It's been raining a lot in Tennessee. I heard that. Well, you guys just got hit by, you guys got the remnants of that hurricane too, right? I mean, because it came up through Louisiana. I was very concerned because that's where my sister's stationed at, is Louisiana. And, I always get a little concerned. But, I'm not People don't understand that, once the hurricanes hit land, they slow down and break apart very, very quickly. The water is their main source. So once they approach land, it's hard to keep that momentum of power. Yeah. Well, you know what? It might be a blessing in disguise. Sorry, guys, I forgot to take my allergy pill this morning. It might be a blessing in disguise, Michelle, because, we are looking for a boy and we don't know where he is. Maybe the rain, maybe a little bit of flooding might help, help out with that, those answers. You'll never believe what Bullhorn Betty found for all of my family that has been here for a really long time. We used to read this every single day. Every single day. And then I had some hiccups in the road, and then we started working around the clock, and we kind of got away from this. And then Ginger Bell sent me the one. I don't have it over there. I have it right over there, and I haven't read it for today. I will. So later this afternoon, we'll get to the other one. But this is by far my favorite book. This is The Language of Letting Go. We had The Language of Letting Go journal, the big book, yesterday, but this is the original that we've been reading from for about, I don't know, 3 years. For those that are new here to this channel, you may not know because you're probably following me just from the Sebastian Rogers case. But if you've heard oh, hey Pebbles, it's nice to see you, my love. If you know anything about me, I'm all about empowering people. I'm all about telling people that you don't have to be a perfect human being, that you are in control of your own destiny, no matter what your past has been. I'm a living, breathing person of that. I had a horrible childhood. Part of my adulthood was just anesthetized by things that I did, the things that happened when I was a child. With physical abuse, seeing physical abuse. There was a lot in my home. And although I lived next to doctors, lawyers, I had a good home. My home was always clean, plenty of food to eat. There was a lot of things that happened behind my closed doors that affected me in my adulthood. So I do know that child trauma definitely affects a lot of people's adulthood. And a lot of that stuff, I ended up drinking and doing a lot of destructive things in my life, including substance abuse, where I almost lost my life several times. I also had abusive boyfriends, and it was the codependency on the toxicity. And so I always talk about the mental part of abusive relationships because a lot of people are just attracted to that type of person. Now, many of you know that I was in a relationship. I thought that I had broken my own cycle, and then to be so bamboozled and stuff like that, I realize I still have a lot of work on me that needs to be done because I haven't broken that cycle. I got with an abusive person, just a different type of abuse. It was more mental and emotional than it really was physical, but it was still abuse and it was still messing with me. And so I've taken, I've taken some time. It's almost been a year. I haven't dated. I tried to grow a plant. I killed the plant, but that's because I wasn't here and I forgot to tell my neighbor instructions. And I was supposed to grow the plant, then get the puppy. But the puppy, is the survivor of everything. And I got to tell you, lighting my life up, right? Because it was so dark there for a little bit, but I was still going through it. I was still having a smiley face. I was still trying to fake it until I make it, But then my best friend knew what I needed because sometimes best friends just know better than you, right? Especially best friends you've had for 18, 20 years, right? They know you better than yourself. So I remember telling her, she told me that she was getting me a puppy. I told her, no, I'm not ready for a puppy. I remember her telling me, look, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you to prepare for one. And I'm like, oh, crap, And I'm like, okay, a puppy, you got pee and poop all over the house, chewing up everything. You fantasize about all these things. And then, of course, I get this puppy that's like just a gem, She hasn't chewed a cord. She chewed on some shoes. She hasn't destroyed any shoes. She just plays with them, right? And she's just been an absolute joy to be around. She's just a snuggle monkey. She's everything I needed, right? And so I thought, okay, maybe I'll go ahead and just work on me. And that's what I've been doing. I've been working on me for the last year. I'm still going through a lot of anger and resentment that needs to be broken because I don't want to ever start going into the dating pool with a huge, a lot of baggage. I need to shake the baggage before I move on. And the baggage isn't shook yet. So here we are. But I thought this was interesting. This is the language of letting go. We read this quite often. We've gotten away from it, but we're going to go back to it. So this is September 15th, and I love this reading. So we're going to get on to Sebastian, but after this reading. You are a work of art. All the arts we practice are apprenticeship. The big art is our life. What you do is not who you are. You are more, much, much more than that. It's easy to get caught up in what we do that we're only identifying ourselves through our daily tasks. I'm a mechanic. I'm a parking lot attendee. I'm a doctor. I'm a dishwasher. When we link ourselves too closely to our jobs, we deny ourselves the chance to ever be anything else. We limit ourselves by believing that's all we are and all we'll ever be. Our concept of who we are is one of the hardest but most rewarding ideas we can change. If you have been brought up believing that you are clumsy, you will probably demonstrate this belief in your actions. Until you identify that idea, let go of it, and let yourself be something else. Don't limit yourself by saying you're just what you do. Stop seeing yourself as a static being. If I'm just a parking lot attendee, then how can I ever influence somebody through my words, my art, my music, my life? But if I'm a vital, living, growing soul who happens to be parking people's cars, then everything I do can become a symphony. I can have influence for good in the lives of everyone I touch. I can learn from them and they from me. I can learn the lessons that I'm supposed to learn at the place in my life, and I can move on to other lessons. God gave us the power to change. You're more than what you do. You're a vital, vibrant soul that came here to experience, grow, and change. Make a masterpiece out of your life. God, help me realize the glory of my soul. Thank you for my mortality and for the ability to learn and grow. So as you guys can see exactly why I love this. This is the language of letting go. This helps people with codependency. I think codependency is more than just with people. I think codependency is what drives a lot of substance and alcohol abuse because you're dependent. You need a coping mechanism, a codependency. And that's where it's at. Thank you, Michelle. Hope you are all having an amazing day. Betty, stay strong and keep pushing. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, MJ, welcome to Bronze. Yay! We know you're part of the family. You've been part of the family for a while. You've been part of the family for a while. But welcome to this crazy. Welcome for officially becoming a crazy member of this crazy place that we call the Coffee Club. Welcome to the fam. Hey, Mel B, it's nice to see you. Our beautiful River is in the house. It's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're having an amazing Sunday. On that same note, before we get started, don't forget today at 9 o'clock, if you guys are needing God, needing Jesus, needing the Word, needing some worship, some testifying and testimony, today we will be at Countryside Christian Church around 9 something this morning. So if you are feeling down or you're bedridden and you just want the gospel, please come and join us. It's always, who's the author? Oh, this is from Melody Beatty. And they have different editions of this one. This one I think is from 2001. But they've got one that has like a blue cover, one that has like a purple cover. So there's a lot of different languages of letting go. And they're not all the same. And the great thing is we've been reading this. It's like a daily devotional. So it has like dates and stuff in it. we've been reading this, and it feels like it's a new book every single year that we read it. It's the neatest thing I've ever, um, ever read, because you would think you would get old reading the same exact um, statements from year to year, but it's funny how it feels like it's brand new, like we're reading it new for the first time when the date comes the next year. And it's like every year we get something new out of it. I mean, it's really just neat and cool. I don't get it, but we've been reading this book for years, and every time we get something new out of it. It's just I don't know how to explain it. So if you guys like daily devotionals, this is a great one. If you're codependent in any aspect of your life, people that write in this have had substance and alcohol abuse problems as well. It's just very uplifting. It helps. I really think it helps the day, because, to be honest with you, a lot of things are wearing on me, and I notice that things start getting a little chaotic in my personal life when I get away from the word, and I get away from the calming words and things that help propel us, to help us wrap ourselves in the armor of God. And that's exactly what we need to do, because, we're at war with, evil in our country. We're at war with the demonic in our country. We're at war with good versus evil, and people turning what is good bad and what is bad good. So, there's a lot of things that all of us are adjusting to in our life. I'm ordering today with Journal. Looks like an awesome book. It is. It's very good. I haven't seen a Melody Beattie book that I haven't liked. I've got to be honest with you. It's always such a good read, such a good everything. All right, guys. So many of you know we are on the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He's a 15-year-old boy that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. There has been a lot of chaos, a lot of drama driven to this case unnecessarily, improperly, right? Improperly. People have been making up stuff, no matter what receipts, what legit receipts we have. We have a Yahoo that is always saying, well, what about this? What about that? The bottom line is you have no receipts for that. Okay. I do. If you get a message from me that says, I do not argue with idiots, let me be very clear, not to be offensive, but I'm pretty much calling you an idiot. So if anybody in my chats received that, I'm going to apologize ahead of time, but instead of posting crabby patty comments, reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com before you make the post, because I don't want to embarrass you in front of people. But in all fairness, I can't, we have receipts. Other people don't, okay? This whole illusion, oh, well, he could have done this. He could have done, well, he clocked in. Well, yes, most people clock themselves in, okay? I don't know where you come from. Usually you have a badge, you scan it, you clock yourself in. Yes, the person actually clocks themselves in and clocks themselves out, okay? I don't know what company would have to go get a supervisor to clock them in. And not only that, but if somebody else clocked him in besides himself, then people would say, well, then he probably wasn't there to clock in. So no, but you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. I don't argue with idiots. So if you've got a message from me that says I don't argue with idiots, I'm calling you an idiot. Okay? Get right. Get an education. I don't know. If I'm offensive, too bad, so sad. Okay? It is what it is. Okay? I offend people. Wow. Oh, happy birthday, Constance. It's nice to see you. I didn't know it was your birthday. Well, happy birthday. I wish we had a Bullhorn Betty song, like happy birthday. Usually when I'm in the office, I put a goofy happy birthday hat on with some happy birthday, and I'll sing you a birthday song in my Frank Sinatra voice. Could use a little Frank Sinatra, female version of Frank Sinatra, first thing on Sunday. But I'm just going to give you a big shout out. Happy birthday, Constance. You earned it. You're a Virgo like me. My birthday's in 2 days. My birthday's September 17th. And which reminds me, the real Me Too, I got your third card. I got your third card. So I have some birthday cards. I had some gifts show up. Thank you, the real Me Too and family. Love you bunches. Love you bunches. And, I'm turning the big 4-5 this year. Okay. We're going to, back when I was 32, it was easy. We just flipped the numbers and I'm 23. But being 45, you flip the numbers, it's not as effective as 23 or 32. I'm sorry. It's not as effective. So it kind of sucks because now I'm going to have to wait 9 years to go back to 45. Bah humbug. Bah humbug. Oh, good gracious. Ask me no questions. I'll tell you no lies. I love it. I love it. I love it. I turned 59 in January. It was hard to say, LOL. You know what the hardest, 50 will be hard for me. I know 50 will be hard for me because I remember 25 was really hard for me. I remember sitting in my living room at my other house out there on 64 by the interstate, and I had a bottle of champagne and strawberries, chocolate covered strawberries. And I remember sitting in my living room and just crying because 25 for me was, you're no longer a kid. You can't go home to mommy and daddy. Yeah, I can't go home, can I buy a pair of shoes? You're looking around and you realize, crap, I'm an adult. It didn't happen at 20. It didn't happen at 21. It didn't happen at 22. It didn't happen at 23. It didn't happen at 24. But 25, it's like, boom, you are an adult. Now you have to deal with adulting. That sucked. And I still act like a hooligan until I was, in my 30s. Oh, good gracious, good gracious. So I think I'll slide through. But the one thing that hurts my feelings this year, I will be honest with you, is every single year that I've been doing this, I have volunteered my birthday to be out in the woods searching for a person, somebody that was missing. That's kind of my birthday gift to the victim. And this year is going to be the first year that I'm not going to be able to be searching for somebody on my birthday. Last year we were searching for Layla Santinello, and Sonia had to bring the cake out to the search, and we're searching, and we're wondering if the frosting, I didn't know about it, but she, wondering if the frosting's going to melt off before we got back from the search. But we ended up having a nice cake and ice cream. It was really cute. They were really thoughtful, and of course that's what I did for my birthday. But this birthday I'm stuck here doing legal paperwork, dealing with all this nonsense from Tennessee, and it's now officially taking away from searching for a missing person on my birthday, which I do every single year. Even my mom's birthday this year, I was doing the gathering of voices, right? So I never even really celebrated my mom's birthday this year, which I celebrated just about every single year. But it's kind of flip-flop. I never do, anything on my mom's birthday. And this year I was at the gathering of voices, and I always am doing something on my birthday. And this year I'm stuck home doing legal paperwork for my birthday. Yay me, right? So I don't know how it's going to go. No missing people near you. Oh, there's missing people near me, but there's just a lot of the people that are missing right now are either found or it's like a family custody type of situation. Teenagers, to be honest with you, unless there's something like this with Sebastian's case, I really don't cover too many teenager missing persons. We'll like in depth. We'll put them on the Facebook group, but there's so many teenagers that run away from home and are found and are just not cleared off the rosters that it makes it a little difficult. That's the only thing. My email is bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I live in southern West Virginia. We have several missing, but these mountains are hard to search. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. We got to be careful, especially when we're out. You gotta wear the right shoes, especially if you're on certain terrain. You don't want to wear flats or flip flops or tennis shoes. You want to get some boots with some grip. I always wear boots when I'm searching. Unless it's flat surface. Like I think the last time we did Layla Santanello, I was in tennis shoes. I don't think I put my boots on. The first time I went out there, I had my boots on. But they do get heavy because they're steel-toed boots, and you need steel-toed boots because you never know what you're going to step on or what you're going to accidentally stump into. And I tell you, it does hurt. Oh, thank you, Tug on the Heartstrings. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. I'm sorry, Betty, you don't deserve this BS. Yeah, I get it. You know what? We'll move forward. We'll move forward. So over the last day, we have decided to go back to the drawing board and start the processing. This is our third or fourth time going back to the drawing board in this case to start this process over, to make sure that we're not missing anything. Go back through all the news articles, go back through all the videos, all the interviews, see if there's something we missed, see if there's something that might help us start thinking about possibilities of where Sebastian could be. And of course, we're watching at the beginning. We're looking at all before this, when this was just a missing person, people were more free in their verbiage and their language, especially law enforcement, the media, and everything else. What I've learned and what I believe is going on is I believe that Sumner County Sheriff's Office has pretty much muzzled in part their news organizations. I don't know if that's the case. It just feels like it is, because that interview with Davison County Sheriff is one that maybe I watched, but I'm not sure if I did. And wow, what a different Nick Barris we had early on in this case as we do now. And people were chatting to me stating that, oh, it's because Nick must have more information now than he had back then. And no, I say that is incorrect, because he's a privy to the same information that we're a privy to. And if you go back and look at all of his updates since these statements were made, there's no additional information. There's no additional information. There's no additional information. There's no additional information. But early on, you know, they were talking about, well, if they're not found in a reasonable amount of time, there has to be foul play. We all agreed with that early on. And then all of a sudden, the light video came out, and we have a completely different Nick Barris, as if he was chastised or in trouble, and toned it down, because he was kind of the media out there that was, you know, providing the information and going through his thought process as well. He stopped his thought process and is now just being the mouthpiece of Sumner County Sheriff's Department. And I have a problem with that. You know, that's, as I always say, that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, is because I don't trust mainstream media. You know, I work with mainstream media quite a bit. You know, I've given a lot of interviews. I've been on several documentaries. You know, it's not that I denounce them and would, you know, avoid them like the plague. It's just that I know that they're good people that work for these news organizations, but their news organizations muzzle them. Okay, it's not the reporters that don't want to report on it. It's what they're allowed to do. Will their manager allow them to run the story? That's the part of news, mainstream media, I don't like. Because our Constitution allows us freedom of the press. And I feel freedom of the press has gone out the window. The only people demanding freedom of the press are people like me that don't want to be silenced, that are allowed to speak their thoughts, their criticisms, and their commentary. I've been muzzled by the local media, local news. Oh my goodness. Exactly. And why is local news doing that? They'll run any story that's going to get them clicks and views and advertisements. So why would they do that? That has to be at the direct request of a law enforcement body, in my opinion. Just saying. I was very thankful that what was it, 17 posted your video and didn't chop it all to heck. And put your commentary in the article. That was kudos to them. I didn't know if they would do that, but it was a pleasant surprise to see that they allowed Seth's statements to be printed. I mean, he was respectful, of course. You know what I'm saying? But it's very sad that this is where we are, and this is where we are because we've got a county that ain't acting right. And their residents ain't acting right. People say, well, it's a little different in Tennessee. I'm sorry. If anybody has to say that it's a little different in Tennessee, it doesn't matter. Tennessee has laws. Okay? Tennessee has laws. You don't get to make up your own laws. You don't get to make up your own determination of what this is and what that is. There is laws in Tennessee that are there that are precedent. And these people don't think that exists to them. So mainstream media needs to take their power back. That's what they need to do. They need to take their power back. Mainstream media is getting a bad rap because they won't deliver the news. It's always stripped down. It's never the true, and what, everybody's like, oh, when you're in journalism, you have to be unbiased. No, you don't. You're allowed to have your opinions. You're allowed to say the facts and what you think it means. There's a lot of opinionated journalists on Fox News, CNN, ABC, NBC, whatever, CNBC. There's a lot of people out there that don't keep to the facts, that run off their emotions. Why can they do it for the opposite, but they can't do it for, it doesn't make sense. I digress. That's awful to do Seth that way. Like, what the hell? He's the father. Yeah, because, at the end of the day, it's all, I'm telling you, there's something stinking to high heaven in this county. And somebody higher up the food chain needs to wake the F up. There's something not right. We cover cases all over the country. I was the most behaved in this community that I have been across this country, outside of the Idaho 4. And for them to act the way that they acted toward me and other people, you know what? At the end of the day, Tennessee law rules in Tennessee. Not Sumner County. And I'm sorry, but it seems to me that they have a lot of political pull over their news organizations. That to me is bias, not unbiased. When you start kowtowing to your local government, that news organization is screwed. They're not being objective because they're being muzzled. I hope to God freedom of press still reigns true in Sumner County. And I pray to God that they start opening their voices, because something is not good here. And if they want social media to get the clicks and the views, fine, so be it, right? But they're missing a lot of ad revenue that can help pay their people's salary if they just start talking about the case. This is the most prominent case in their community. If all news organizations aren't talking about this case, then that in and of itself is problematic for somebody like me. Why would they not be talking about the most high-profile case in their community? But I have to say, Caitlin Quisenberry really did a great job covering the court hearing. They did the live broadcast. I pray to God that she's back in the courtroom on October 10th at 11 a.m. I pray to God that the affiliate to Court TV is also back in the room October 10th. This is where real life testimony is going to be. I'm sure it's going to be dragging me, but you know what? At the end of the day, you can't just drag me without the evidence to drag me with. And you know what? You see me go off after I was stalked. I think that was a reasonable reaction. You know, a reasonable reaction. I was hot under the collar after that. But prior to that, no problems whatsoever. All the problems seem to be coming from one side. I'm sorry. We're all watching it. You know, if people want to put their head in the sand like an ostrich, that's fine. We've produced receipts to show that Seth was at work, didn't even have a lunch break that day. And of course, they're like, oh, he had to clock himself in. Yeah. What person that clocks in doesn't clock themselves in? You know? I don't know where people, like I said, I don't argue with idiots. I'm not going to argue with idiots. No matter what you produce for some people, they're going to try to denounce it, this, that, and the other. They know I produce the receipts. They know I hold the receipts, and they know that what I'm saying is true. But they still want to put doubt in people's minds. Why? Why are they so hell-bent to show that Seth is so involved when he's not? Maybe because they're protecting somebody else. Just saying. I'm not a protector. If I truly believed Seth had anything to do with it, I'd throw him under the bus and run over him a few times. Right? I mean, that is my MO, getting up on my platform and dragging. Yeah, I call it pay rage. They get paid to rage. They get paid to infiltrate and cause chaos and misinformation. These people do nothing but cause problems in these cases. And for years, they kept pointing it at me like, oh, it's Bullhorn Betty's fault. No, it's always been these hate channels' fault. They're the ones that are always blowing up law enforcement's phones with bullshit and false information. They're always the one that call in law enforcement by the dozens and hundreds to have their will when their will is wrong. These people do nothing but distract and instigate 90% of the problems in all of these cases. It was never Bullhorn Betty or team. It's always been these hate channels, but I'm glad it's starting to be so big that it's hard not to expose. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about where the problems are coming from this day and age in 2024. Maybe in 2021 when nobody knew who Bullhorn Betty was, but we're all the way here in 2024, about to cross over 2025, and we absolutely see who the problems are. Who are the people destroying these cases? It's the hate channels with all the misinformation campaigns to help their criminal clients. That's what it is. The only person psychotic, my dear, is you. Okay, you are a deranged idiot that waits 20 minutes to have an insult. If you don't like my channel, go somewhere else. But I think it's truly unhinged to be in somebody's channel that you can't stand to watch, but yet you watch them all day long with a magnifying glass. That's some sick, twisted mental health issues. Go get yourself checked out and take a pill. Okay? That's what doctors give people these days, a pill. Go take it. Might help you. Maybe not. Your opinion and facts can't be bought by BHB. That makes you one of the kind, sweetie. That's why I follow you. Oh, thank you. I fact check everything. Because I've been caught with my pants down because I've been trolled myself, you know? And it's like, you know, I'm so sick and tired of everybody. So I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's for the last 2 solid years so people can see exactly where the problems are and where the problems are not. Even the stuff out in Quentin Simon, they keep trying to blame that on us. Think about it. What did we do? We were talking in cameras. What did they do? They sent people out there to instigate problems. They sent a clown out to a 20-month-old the death of a 20-month-old child. These people have never cared. They called the law enforcement, like the law enforcement's looking for a 20-month-old child, and they're calling into the sheriff over 50 times because we're live on our channel out in front of a house where we're supposed to be, along with other media. These people have done nothing but for years cause problems in these cases and then try to point the finger at Bullhorn Betty and say it's Bullhorn Betty. Who do you got to blame now? The proof is in the pudding. No problems were going on until the hate channels show up. And then you got chaos, distractions, confusion, misinformation. And when you look into these people, you find out they're felons, violent individuals. I mean, look at Ricky Marie. The lady, does your car have a tag? Are you insured? Do you have your license? How about that order of protection you violated, Ricky Marie? Were you not going to tell the world about that you were on the receiving end? I bet you did violate your order of protection because you were found guilty. I'm a career criminal. I've been convicted of 3 things almost 20 years ago: 2 DUIs and a violation of probation. Hardly the criminal of the year. Hardly the criminal of the year, but definitely not violating protective orders. And I know how to make sure the people around me are safe because I've never been caught without a driver's license, a suspended license, no registration on my car, and no insurance. You could kill somebody and they have no recourse. That is, I hope you have all that on your car now. Or do you walk? Well, we know she doesn't walk. She's too big to walk. Be like a herd of frickin' buffalo. Gina, I think he has to have one. Oh, we got a few birthdays in here. Well, happy birthday, all you birthday people. We're all a bunch of Virgos. No wonder we like each other. we like stuff point blank. Well, I'm your point blank type of girl. Happy birthday. I just got my BFF. Her birthday's next month, so I already ordered her gift. I got a couple more things I want to get her, but I think she's going to really like the gift I got her. I never get her good gifts. She always gets me good gifts. You should see my boots she got me. She got me these black boots with ribbon lace. Absolutely Virgos galore. I know. My birthday was last Monday. Oh, SPED teacher. Happy birthday. We need a happy birthday song. I need to steal one from like Carrabba's. Happy birthday, blah, 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 blah. Can somebody write me a birthday jingle for the Bullhorn Betty channel? So anyways, getting back to it, you know, we have a lot of work to do. I was going to go over some more information. Actually, have more information pulled up on my phone to go over with you guys because we are going through this case from the beginning, and we have to because this case has gotten so chaotic. This case has been littered with misinformation and people, driving narratives instead of driving facts. So the only way I can counter that is going back to the facts of the case and build the case again, right? So we were on February 29th when we stopped yesterday. Now we're kind of rolling into March 3rd.
15-year-old you see here first reported missing Monday, and law enforcement talking today about what they're now doing and how you can help.
Let's get right out to News Channel 5's Kelsey Gibbs. She's been out there all day. Kelsey, what is the latest?
Hey, Carrie and Rory, as you can see behind me, still a very busy command post here, but law enforcement, they have drones.
Sorry, guys.
They have all other types of aircrafts like helicopters, canines, and horses, all searching for Sebastian. But what they really need is the help of the public to search around on their property. This is the plea from Sumner County officials. There have been no sightings of Sebastian on home surveillance cameras so far, and the team sent his smell hasn't been picked up by any canine. Law enforcement said they just want to find the teen and bring him home. First responders have covered more than 2,000.
Let's talk about this. We'll get back to it. We got another a minute and a half left on that. Let's dissect what that lady said. She just acknowledged this boy is on no surveillance cameras, not a one. And there's no dog scent for a boy that walked out of the house barefoot. Let me repeat that. This child is not on any surveillance camera. She said any surveillance camera. And no scent. We learned what touch DNA is from we were just watching, good gracious, what's her name? Oh my gosh, I can't believe John Benet Ramsey. And her father was on a show, and we watched the commentary on that. And he actually breaks down touch DNA. So let's get an understanding of what touch DNA is. This is what it says on Google for touch DNA. An example of this is the collection of touch DNA. Touch DNA consists of shed skin which the suspect has transferred to an object or a person. Although DNA profiling is done using scant piece of evidence, but it does not reveal much about the tissue or origin. The sample due to sample size, whatever that means. How accurate is touch DNA? Touch DNA is almost a pseudoscience. It takes samples that contain a mixture of DNA from surfaces touched by an unknown number of people and makes a guess as to the probability that the criminal suspect's DNA is among the haystack of unknowns the lab is examining. So touch DNA. So if he's walking barefoot, okay, his feet are leaving scent. If he's in socks, his feet are leaving scent. And we learn that he does not like dirt or grass or bugs. So that would mean that he would most likely take the sidewalk or roadway because he doesn't like the dirt or the bugs or the grass. So if he's walking barefoot or even in socks on a hard surface, that scent from his foot should be able to be tracked by a scent dog. There's none of that. None of that. So I am questioning how in the world this can be probable that a child opens a door with his hands, shuts the door with his hands, pushes a lock button on the code box with his hands, walks off a porch with his feet, walks down the driveway and to the sidewalk, and there is no scent of any of this. No scent of any of this that can be tracked by, what do they say, 15 dogs? The house was searched 10 times. Searched. That just means they walked things through the house. They looked into stuff. Searched. They never turned that house into a crime scene, which is the directive of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And I'm going to keep hitting that because that is a critical error, in my opinion. Critical in this case.
Miles in a span of 4 days looking for Sebastian Rogers. The autistic teen was last seen early Monday in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville. An Amber Alert was issued for Sebastian later that day.
News is misinforming the public. He was not seen on Monday. He was never seen since February 25th, and the last time he was seen on camera where he was visibly present, not a hazy image, visibly present, was around 6:30 at the Texas Roadhouse restaurant. Those are the true facts.
To help with the search, Chief Deputy Eric Craddock says they are operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked away from his home. Law enforcement again calling on the public for help. They say check your property as well as things like
right there.
And
you see that? That's the back. Remember I told you there was two fences. This is the neighbor fence from behind them. And remember I told you there's a walk space between them? Well, they have a gate on this fence. I just want to make sure you see that. That is an officer walking between those two gates that I say look like it's large enough to take a riding lawnmower through. You guys just seen him. He's between the two gates. The neighbors behind them and Sebastian's home. You guys see that? That's what I didn't realize it was visible in this clip, but that's what I was trying to show you guys when we went live.
Some trailers and stuff like that.
See it?
They say that also to do it in pairs, because law enforcement says if they spot two people from the air, they won't assume it's Sebastian walking in a field alone. And of course, if you see something, say something.
We have had several clips that have come in. Several of them we've been able to dispel that's not Sebastian on that clip. We are still working every lead that comes in. So as the video comes in, our detectives, we're working really well alongside the TBI and all of our other law enforcement partners in the region to make sure that we're getting on them just as quickly as possible.
Now, we have seen law enforcement officials from Gallatin, White House, all over Sumner County, as well as the TWRA helping in this search. We've also been told by law enforcement that Sebastian Rogers' family is cooperating with officials. Reporting live in Sumner County, Kelsey Gibbs, News Channel 5.
Kelsey, we appreciate the update.
We also learned that what law enforcement basically means by cooperating is that they answer the phones when they call. Fingerprints on no fingerprints, Lisa. No fingerprints. We learned that on March 20th in the Smiley World interview with Chris and Katie. You know, that's the realization of what we were at, and that was almost a month after this child allegedly walked out of his home. And those forensics would help if the mom and the stepfather had nothing, were not responsible for any of this. Those forensic findings, that forensic testing would help alleviate some of that pressure against the parents, because right now this stinks to high heaven. And we know Sumner County intentionally and willfully tried to distract from the flashlight video and the unidentified vehicle that was out there at something like 3:30 in the morning. We were told that it was a trash truck. We all know better. We have corroboration of the video. We have corroboration from a neighbor. I mean, this is something that I think was bigger than what it needed to be, and they needed to hush it up. But either way, we know that they have been deceptive with us before. So, it's really hard, especially with everything we're learning and us using our common sense and us seeing one light go back to the house and one person waking up in the house. It gives us an uneasy feeling. And then when we couple that with they failed to turn the house and Sebastian's room into a crime scene, and failed to take fingerprints, and failed to take, hey, Cheeky Chaps, it's nice to see you. If I buy a hog, will you be my bike? Oh, my goodness. You know what? I don't know if you want to drive a motorcycle in Florida. We have some of the craziest, the craziest drivers you've ever seen. But hey, You want to go for a cruise? I'll ride B on the back. I'll ride B on the back. Get me a helmet, but it has to be a cute helmet, okay? It's got to be something that makes me look cute. I don't know if there's a helmet that'll make me look cute. I know whenever my friend Glenn, we do a lot of, I'm like his little protege in the county, one of the first guys I met with. I remember, we had to go to an event and my car was broke down and he's like, well, I'm bringing Mad Max. And I'm like, okay. And so, my hair, because it tangles up, it tangles up when I'm on a motorcycle. I have to, pull it like in a ponytail, like twist it. And then I got to put it up, and then I got to take a jacket and put a hoodie over my head and tie it so my hair doesn't get messy. And I remember when I walked out there, he's like, you look like the Unabomber. So if I do ride me, I might look like the Unabomber. I'm just saying. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Aw, Ginger Girl. Oh, thank you for the 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. It's nice to see you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Stephanie, I think KP checked him into any kind of facility with technology now. Secret Service would have found out. Yes, they would have found out. And not only that, but we called around to, I can't remember which one of you guys called around. One of you guys in the audience called around to the autistic centers, live-in programs, and they were very adamant. This was a policy. Both parents has to sign that child in, or they have to have an order of the court that the other spouse is not involved in the child's life. There is a process to get the child into those programs, and so the other option was a mental like rehab type of thing. Those wouldn't require both parents, but there should be some type of Medicaid, insurance, or payments to the facility, and there would be prescriptions for the medication that he would be on in his name. That could be found by the people that have the authority to look into that. So there are those things. And don't forget to tell Ginger Girl, thank you if you received a Bullhorn Betty membership. Awesome. Sluice Station also gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. When you get in the hog there, cheeky chops. People in Florida speed up to the red. Yes, they do. I've learned to slow down, but I was one of those people, if it's a yellow light, I'm getting it, right? But now in my old age, dunno. now in my old age, I'm very cautious. FBI prompted citizens to search Montgomery County. Well, I believe it, because you gotta think, Josh. I mean, in all fairness, there's 3 parents. We know that Seth had nothing to do with it. However, you know what? Check that off the list. I'm all about making sure that everything's covered. There's a reason why I believe in Seth so much. There's a reason why. But would it be out of this world to think that if somebody is trying to do something or trying to hide something, that they wouldn't try to have a plan B, so to speak, point it to somebody else? I mean, there is that possibility. The only thing that I truly believe that we have on our side, especially with Seth, is one, Seth hasn't been in that area very long. He doesn't know he's not like a generational there, like on the other side of the family. And the other part is because Clarksville is so far away, I feel that a person would be functioning in their comfortable environment, and this would not be the comfortable environment. Even if they were trying to set up, they wouldn't know how to. Where would they go? So yellow means floor it. Has all the properties owned by the family and extended family been searched? Ginger Girl, that's a great question. We're never going to find the answer to it, because law enforcement will not provide a press conference, will not even provide the father an update, but seems to be really buddy and really snuggly with the other side of the family, the people that were last known to be with this boy. So I really don't know, honestly. At the very beginning, I asked Sumner County Sheriff to pull all videos from Highway 24, and they told me no. Wow. What a great, rounded investigation. Turning over all stones. Love it. Love it. 15-year-old boy, you asking for them to turn over all stones, and they tell you no. Well, it's much of what we've dealt with since I've been in Sumner County. It seems like they arrest people that commit no crimes, and the people that can't even answer simple questions get the attaboy and the prize. This is the most insane. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Like, I really think these people are so dense with their friendships and trying to show face to the whole world. You got some problems in your county that you're not wanting to face, and you can be an ostrich all day long, and hell, you can keep arresting me all day long, but it's still not fixing the problems in your county. Just saying. Just saying. I think a lot of people were hired to insert themselves and divert people. The more you know. Yeah. Something happened. Because everybody seemed to know what went on those first few days. But then all of a sudden, as time went on, it's like now people are getting paid an awful lot of money to run distractions in a case. While we're wanting to keep it focused and laser focused on the truth of this case. The bottom line is this boy was inside his home, and he was inside this home, and the last person that saw him was his mother. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is true, hardcore facts. This child was highly functioning autistic, that was sheltered, that liked to stay in his own room and play. Was not a runner, did not leave the house. Hell, the neighbors barely even knew the kid lived there. There was no signs on the outside of that home that any child lives inside that home. And we've heard that from several of the neighbors. They knew of the boy, they just never saw him. So all of a sudden, this boy wants to be seen. It doesn't make sense. Without shoes, without jacket, 40-degree weather. Hates bugs, allergic to grass. I mean, you know? And we've got paths going through the grass. I don't see this boy that hates dirt, bugs, and grass going through the backside of the house instead of going out the front of the house, which is what he's accustomed to doing. Okay? There's a lot of people in my chat. Raise your hand if you have an autistic child and they are spontaneous. Please raise your hand. If it's not, put a thumbs down button. Because I can guarantee autistic children are creatures of habit, not spontaneous. They don't do things they've never done before. If they have things that trigger them, like walking barefoot outside, they're not going to be walking outside barefoot. They don't just wake up one day and say, oh yeah, I'm normal now. I have 6 autistic children and my husband. I 100% believe Sebastian never left the house with no shoes or his switch. Yep, children follow routines. I'm not saying this stuff. I'm leaving it to the experts. Who are the experts? Definitely not Sumner County, period. They're not. They have no idea what autism is. I'm leaving it to the parents and the people that live this stuff day in and day out. I'm trusting the father of this boy saying, my son wouldn't leave a house without putting his shoes and socks on. Especially a parent that has passed a polygraph test publicly, has been out there searching as much as he can, has injured himself so much so that he had to have surgery, has been out of work for months, and has been lied to over and over and over again. Have we ever found out who else was at Texas Roadhouse? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think they were there by themselves. Because to be honest with you, all those rumors about the poker game and stuff like that, I think was just that, rumors. Because some Yahoo that produced that rumor also produced that Seth had disappeared for 2 hours. And also produce that, oh, by the way, they were alone in the woods and wanted to see the tatas. I mean, come on. Lie, 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 lie. I don't understand why anybody has to lie unless their head is so messed up that they truly believe this really happened. That might be another thing we need to look at. Which counties are between Sumner and Montgomery? Josh, great question. I haven't looked. Let's find out. Let's find out. Which counties are between Sumner and Montgomery County in Tennessee? Maybe? Robertson County, which is near White House. So let's read this. Robertson County, located east of Montgomery County. Sumner County, located east of Macon County, bordered by the Cumberland River to the south. So it looks like Macon and Robertson. Looks like Macon and Robertson might be. Spontaneity is not going to break out in the middle of the night with any kid, especially one on the spectrum. You know? And this is what's so frustrating, is that we understand this, but it's hard to get that in the minds of people that didn't do the research. Like, we fielded hundreds to at least 1,000 emails about autism from many family members out there from TikTok and YouTube that wanted to tell me about their child. And they were explaining, the intellect aspect of it, because we were having a problem because he's high functioning, he's in his own grade, he's in normal classes, and yet the parents are like, he acts younger than he is, and this, that, and I couldn't understand, well, how can he be? So, I mean, even parents broke that down for me to understand it. A lot of the information I'm going off are from real life people that have children that are autistic in a wide range of autism, from nonverbal to highly functioning to adult autism, to families that have now adult children on the spectrum that they're caring for, or that they were talking about how they were high functioning and yes, they need assistance, but they're living alone, on their own. They're learning to balance a checkbook and all this stuff. So we have it from literally infant all the way up to adulthood that we have talked to families about to really learn and hone in on autism. And the one thing that I have learned throughout all of this is there is not one autistic child that acts the same as another autistic child. So there's no major standard there that you can apply. Each individual autistic child has their own tics. They have their own meltdowns for whatever reason. They have their own pet peeves and things that they dislike. Some don't mind running around without shoes. Some can't stand walking without shoes. Immediately, as soon as they start their day, they put shoes on, and they keep shoes on throughout the house, throughout their outings and everything. They do not take their shoes off. Others might be a feel. They don't like certain types of clothing. The feel of clothing. Some maybe they don't like the texture of the food. But the one thing that I found common from autistic child to autistic child is their need for video games. That literally, out of everything and all the people I talked to and all the differences in the behaviors of their children from childhood to adulthood have been wildly different. However, the one thing, like, even I tell you, the one thing that they said is my child, when they go to stay with a friend, they take their entire their entire gaming system with them, and that resonated with me because it really put how important that switch must have been to Sebastian, and then we learned from his father, Seth, that the cell phone, he always made sure that phone was charged so he could call his father and his father could call him. So it kind of brings relevance back to why would he leave his phone, especially if he's running away from home and running to his dad's house, right? And that was kind of speculated as well. Why would he walk out without his phone so he could call his dad? And not only that, but he knows his dad. So if he really wanted to run away from home and go to his dad's, all he'd have to do is pick up the phone and call his dad and tell his dad he wants to come to his house. His dad would have stopped everything and came and got him. None of this makes sense. You know, this whole story stinks to high heaven. The way law enforcement is behaving is stinking to high heaven, and it's stuff we can't look past. It's really stuff we just can't look past. It's causing us to stop and say, what in the world is going on here? You know? Anyways, guys, we went over our time. Please consider coming and hanging out with us today at church. Church is a great place to get right, to cleanse your soul, to repent for your trespasses, to forgive those who trespassed against you. It's a great place to be around sinners, right? Grateful sinners. And, you know, we're not, all of us are imperfect, but each and every day we have an opportunity to be better than we were yesterday, right? And some of us struggle, and it's a tug and pull, right? So if you'd like to just let go and let God, please consider coming and hanging out with us. God bless. Have a great day. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, please be kind to one another. Happy Sunday, y'all.